What does this scripture remind you of? What does this scripture on the screen remind you of? This is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, also known as Sirach. You could say Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 27 and verse 2. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doth sin stick close between buying and selling. Let that sink in. Okay? Process that. Once again, this is in the book known as Ecclesiasticus, which is in the Apocrypha, and the Apocrypha is a part of the Old Testament. Ecclesiasticus chapter 27 and verse 2. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones. What does this remind you of? This should remind you of a prophecy that the prophets have been talking about time and again. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones. For example, you have a nail between two bricks. Okay? Think about somebody building a house. You think about carpentry. All right? But the Lord is making a point. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doth sin stick close between buying and selling. Between buying and selling, between buying and selling. All right? This should remind you of a prophecy that is coming very soon. All right? We should know what that is by now. Read this one more time. Ecclesiastes chapter 27, verse 2. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doth sin stick close between buying and selling. The prophecy, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all. He is Esau Edom through this beast system by way of the military. It's going to be mandatory for all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, no matter your status, to receive a mark, a charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. That should remind you of that nail. It reminds me of that nail. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So business transactions will be cut off from you. They're going to make it impossible for you to live without this, man. This is the world that's being set up right before our very eyes. Okay? That mark is the charagma. And I was on the web. First and foremost, think about the scripture here in Ecclesiasticus. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones. All right? Now I looked this up. Nail hammered into bricks. All right? And you have this here. Okay? Between the joinings of the stones. All right, we're just going into repairs. You have certain men in the ministry, they know more about carpentry. I know our apostles, they know more about carpentry. But reading that scripture reminds me of the prophecy of the MOTB. It's like the Lord made a point dealing with masonry. Reminding you of the MOTB, all right? Because you think about that nail being fastened between the joinings of the stones, so does sin stick close between buying and selling. You think about a man with a hammer. He's hammering that nail between those stones or those bricks. That reminds me of that surgical needle. That will be the hammer. being used as the instrument to hammer that nail in or that chip, in this case, puncturing that CHIP rather, so like for saying, you know what, putting it in your flesh. It's like, you know, them putting it between two stones, man. And actually, one of the main places they want to put the charagma is in between your thumb and your index finger. So it's like, you know, they're putting it between two stones, so to speak, man. You know, not to get all, you know, deep and nothing like that, but that's mainly where they want to put it. Or they can put it in your, you know, your forearm, you know, right arm, left arm, big toe, wherever they want to put it. But this prophecy is speaking. And the Lord has different scriptures to prove it, man. All right. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stone, so the sin stick close between buying and selling, that no man or woman might buy or sell save he or she that had the mark. You know, the charagma. All right. Charagma goes back to charax, which is a small pointed stick, a stake. But this scripture right here, you know, it says nail, you know. But it's like, come on, man. You can't see this. You really ain't meant to see it. And we ain't going to force you to see it, man. And if you take that CHIP, it's a sin unto death to take it. Read Revelation 14:9 on down. The Lord's going to burn you by way of thermonuclear missiles if you take this thing, man. All right. The prophecy is very plain at this point. Okay. It should be. It should be. Barakatah Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bahasham Kakodash, you know, for the right leadership, for him sending his servants, the prophets. Double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.